Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sea.
Welcome to Be My Guest. This is Jan Lewis. Today we have, back by popular demand, we have author Veronika Gasparyan. And Veronika's first book that she shared with us was Mother at 7. That was quite a story in and of itself. It's true, and you basically raised your little brother. That's been downstairs at the library too. That is an absolutely amazing story. I couldn't put that down. Now she has a new book, and this is called Forgive Me, Nadia. If you can zero in on this, Paul. Did you design the cover on this one?
I had, I had come up with it, and another designer who does the covers. We work together, yeah.
Now, when did you start writing this one?
Actually, I kind of started right away after the first one, but it really took me about 3 months to write it.
Yeah. 3 months.
From when
3 months? I just
to-
caught that.
Yeah.
That is not long.
Yeah.
That you zipped right through it.
I usually do that. I take a break, but then when I start writing, it's usually like quick.
And I can see Moscow in
Yes.
the background.
Yeah.
Now, this one is a novel. This is not this is not
It's based on true story.
It's based on somebody you knew.
Yeah.
Somebody you knew.
Yeah.
Without giving away the ending, share with us about the story. Don't forget to let them know.
So, Forgive Me, Nadia is actually first book out of the two. Originally, it was going to be one long story, and because there was so much in it, I decided to make 2 books out of it. And it's a story of a Russian girl. She was 14, lived in a little village near Moscow, and she got sold by her alcoholic parents at the age 14, one day before she turned 14, to a human trafficking organization, and for 10 bottles of vodka. And
For $10 and a
10
bottle?
bottles of vodka.
That's all she'd get out of
Yeah,
it?
they were alcoholics. Yeah. And
Yeah.
she worked on the streets for about 2.5 years, and she got pregnant, and she was moved by the pimps and the organization into the location where she was kind of locked up. And she was still taking these clients, a dozen plus a day, while she was pregnant, all the way until she had a little girl. And when she had the baby, pimps and Madame and organization, they forced her to throw the baby out in a dumpster. It was like either she does it herself or she would be killed with the baby. So she thought that if she leave her in a dumpster, there's a chance somebody may possibly find her before she dies. So, and from then on, story gets, there's a lot of twists, turns.
Yeah.
She ends up in jail, and it's really, I'm working on part 2 right now.
So this is based on a true story.
Yes.
God help us, you knew someone who went through this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that person alive?
She should be. Yeah, she was 20 years ago.
Did she get out of that situation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. The stories that, what you've been through and what you know are like a living nightmare.
I know.
How did you come out? I would imagine that a lot of people would have ended up in a mental health unit for years. How did you avoid this?
I think it's the, I just always kind of like, my grandfather helped a lot, of course, along the way when I was little. But I think it's just like a power of will, I guess I would say. Like, it's just, you gotta just stay positive. And I had responsibilities, which made me, stay on track, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's just, I still I'm very positive. Like, I see good in every situation. Something good always comes out of,
Yeah.
even if something bad.
Yeah.
So I guess that's important to, dream big, and to believe in the better days,
Definitely. Now, you moved to the States when? What year was it?
I was 17, 1998.
Oh my goodness. That wasn't that long ago, really.
Well, almost 20 years ago.
I had a kid 25, so to me it's nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it goes so fast. You have how old is your little one now? You
Well,
2 little ones, right?
No, they're not little anymore. They 13 and a half
Yeah.
and 18 and a half.
Oh.
2 boys.
How's the 18-year-old doing for his future? Is he going to college?
He's in college, yep.
He did. Where did he go?
He's at URI, University of Rhode Island.
What's he majoring in?
He's chemistry. He wants to be an oncologist, pediatric oncologist.
Brain. A
Yep.
pediatric oncologist.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he'll go over to UMass Medical School.
Yeah, he probably could. Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, he applied to Brown before, but he was, just a little too young for that. He had,
Yeah.
he had cancer.
Yeah. How is he doing on that?
It came back.
Yep.
He came back and he, we just trying different other alternative methods because chemotherapy and radiation didn't help. And so he's still considered stage 4, and we're just trying to do different fundraisers. We try to get the money together so he can go to one of the clinics that insurance don't cover. So we're trying to do that.
How can the insurance not cover it, John?
Well, they only cover chemotherapy and radiation. It's
Yeah.
and if it doesn't help, it doesn't help. But if you go to any other country, for example, and if you have cancer, they give you many options.
Another country, where are you thinking of? India?
No, like any country in Europe, even Mexico, even Canada.
Mhm.
In other countries, there are different methods of treating cancer.
Yeah.
Here,
Mhm.
it seems like only one that's covered.
What's that one out in out west, American Cancer Center? I've seen it on TV commercials.
Yeah,
Is that something he could get into?
they could, but they offer what he needs is like a lot of things at the same time to
Yeah.
kind of attack it.
He
And-
has survived beautifully, though.
yeah.
And no wonder he wants to be a
Pediatric oncologist.
pediatric oncologist, MD,
Mm-hmm.
with chemical research in it too. Is that?
I mean, he wants to do oncology, pediatric oncology, and he wants to do some research. He wants to be involved in finding cure for cancer, pretty much.
Of course.
Because
Yeah.
nowadays it seems like they treat everybody treat the symptoms,
Yeah.
but they don't really try to cure it anymore because you don't hear that sentence anymore.
So he was how old? He's 18 now. When
He's 18 and a half. He was 16. He was 16. Yeah.
And you have a 14-year-old.
Yeah, almost 14.
How's he
yeah.
doing?
Boy, he's that age.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I had one. Now this took you 3 months to write. I can't believe you did it that fast.
Yeah, it's like when I start writing, I just go. That's the thing. Like it's I can write 10, 12 hours a day.
Why did you name it Forgive Me, Nadia?
I think because the main character is Natalia,
Yeah.
and her daughter is Nadia. So I think because she left her in a dumpster, and she was asking for forgiveness.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
that was it, Forgive Me, Nadia.
Yeah.
Now, you said there's one coming. You're already working on the next
Yeah.
one.
I already have the cover too. It's in the back of this book.
Are you?
The cover for the second one.
It's in the back of this
Mhm.
book? Let me
It's-
see. Let me check.
Yep.
How did I miss? No, that's Mother at 7. Oh!
Yeah.
At War?
That's also
Huh.
it's also Natalia, but now she's older
Yeah.
in there, and
Did she move out of Moscow?
she didn't move out of it, but a lot of the scenes and a lot of things going on, they take place in Europe, mostly in Amsterdam. That's why I have Amsterdam as a background,
It was a test of faith.
Hmm.
And this was the baby that was thrown in a dumpster.
Well, she had to throw the baby in the dumpster, I guess, but
Coming soon. Now, what does
Mhm.
soon mean?
soon, I would say probably 2-3 months. Yeah.
How do you just get these out so
I
quickly?
don't know. I wish I could do it even faster. But,
Are you getting out there and getting noticed? Are you doing?
It's fresh, It's
Yeah.
it's only this is my second interview. I with my son being sick and being this I haven't had enough time.
Sure.
But yes, I do have following. The first book, Mother at 7, it sold way over 10,000 copies.
Yeah.
And I do have a couple things lined up. I'm going to actually Armenia next week. Yeah, my cousin, he's a show business there. He's had a few television shows, and he's an actor, and it's his 50th birthday, and they make it this big concert dedicated to him. So I'm gonna go with my book, and I'm gonna show it to him, give it to him, and then
Have you sold your book where you grew up?
no, because it's in English. And that's not language. In Russia, it has to be translated to
They
Russian.
can't sell an American book?
Well, they could, I guess, but it would probably not everybody speak English.
It might
It's not
cost
a
a
second
fortune
language.
To get it.
Well,
yeah.
yes, exactly.
To get like that.
I have plans to translate, books.
Yeah.
I just haven't got to it, but I'm gonna, when I finish part 2 to this book,
Yeah.
you already know I have to write part 2 to my Mother at 7. So that would be.
Oh, there's going to be. All right, Mother at 7.
Will have
There
a
is
part
going
two.
to be a part
Yeah.
2 to this?
Yeah,
I thought
because-
that was the end of the story.
No, because I want to continue when I got here.
When you got here, and then
Mhm.
what happened? I always wondered where did
Yeah.
So are you working on 2 new books right now?
Well, yeah, right after this one, I have to start the
Mother at
part 2.
7.
Yeah.
So when would the second part 2 be?
I'm trying to do it by the end of this year, too. which
Oh.
is going to be a little hard to write because it's just so many requirements and laws and what you can say, what you can't say because
Yeah,
you're here.
yeah.
But it's going to be, I want to make
It's
sure
your
that,
story.
right. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I want readers to know what happened next. Everybody's asking.
Well, definitely. Now, will it be the same cover, part 2?
No, probably not. I'm not even sure what cover I've used. I don't even know, believe it or
don't
not.
know.
First one was my picture.
Yes.
And the second one, I'm not really, I don't want to use picture again because I really don't have any pictures that, when I got here,
Yeah.
that will, so I'm not really sure what it would be. I don't even know the name yet. I can't even think of a title.
We are talking with Veronika Gasparyan, and Veronika's back with us. She's an author. She has written, her newest book is Forgive Me Nadia, based on a true story. She's also the author that wrote Mother at 7, and that was a book that I found very disturbing, but I couldn't put it down. I couldn't believe that a child could survive that without ending up, out of their mind, and that parents could literally let these things happen. That we hear about child abuse,
Mm-hmm.
but not only was it the physical, but it was all of the mental.
Right.
How are you doing now? I mean, how do you
Good.
survive?
I mean, I think I really never even tried to remember things until I decided to write a book. I really didn't really think of things,
Yeah.
I think it helped me in being independent because when I ended up in America at 17
Yeah.
without English, I think because the way my childhood ended up being, it helped me to kind of survive here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I forgave everybody.
You're amazing.
I don't forgive, of course, but I mean, I don't forget, but I did forgive because I can't really carry that,
Sure.
If you have this grouch or if you're angry, it creates sicknesses, even physical illnesses, really.
Yeah.
So, I let it go because everybody doing the best they can, and, I just considered people that are abusive like that, I consider them like lost souls, pretty much. They just,
Do you still see your family?
yeah,
the
they
ones that
come
abuse
every
you?
once a year. They
You
come
see-
visit. Yeah,
They come over here and they visit you after all that happened.
yeah. Well, they come because they want to move here, actually.
Uh-oh.
So,
Is that a good thing or not?
I mean, I'm not gonna live together with anybody.
No,
But
no.
but
No,
you
you've
know.
got enough on your plate. You've got a son who
Yeah.
had a medical illness.
Right.
You got 2 sons, really.
Yeah.
Now you got the 14-year-old who's
In that age. Yeah.
freshman in high school. Did your oldest son, did he graduate yet?
Yeah, I can't believe he was able to, during all this time, during 5 months of chemo, 1 month of radiation every day,
What's he doing
he was
now?
able to, he's in URI full time.
Oh, he's full-time in
Yeah.
URI. Does he
Yeah.
live on campus?
First semester he did, this semester he's at home, lives at home, but he drives every day.
Does he go up to a children's center for treatment in Boston?
No, we're doing stuff locally,
But
Yeah.
you did go up there. I
Yeah,
think
he went into New York, he went to different places.
all different places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, stories you have. Are you going to eventually share a mother's story of what she's been through?
Yes,
with your
I
son?
thought about that for sure because there's so many, kids that sit with cancer, and
Yeah.
it's really is different kind of experience. It's
Different,
hard
totally.
to explain.
Yeah, I mean, so a book like that and a book like this would be totally different. But who would even think that? I mean, I've heard of human trafficking,
Yeah.
obviously, but for it to be to the point where, what was it? They gave her the ultimatum: either you are killed, your baby killed,
Both.
or you get rid of that child.
Yeah, because she was beautiful. Natalia was very beautiful, so they didn't want to kill her. It wasn't in their interest. Usually, if working girls got pregnant,
Mhm.
they would just kill them because there was too much liability. If somebody sees it, finds out, if they don't feel good. But she was so beautiful that she was the most popular one. That's why they kept her alive. And I mean, the human trafficking issue and sex trafficking especially, it's really underrated. It's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Statistics are actually crazy. There are between 20 and 30 million people in the world right now in a slavery like that.
Yeah.
And about 85% is sex slavery, and another 15 is a labor.
Yeah.
And even the girls usually between 12 and 14 who get recruited, and
Oh, my.
usually runaways, from home.
Yeah.
And even in America, there's a few. I would say probably 50, 60,000
We always wondered
girls.
what happened to, was it Aruba?
Hmm.
Remember that young girl that disappeared?
Yeah, that's most of the time. That's the reason.
You think so?
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
spooky. I mean, and the thing is, you can't find them.
Right. That's the reason. If they were killed, you would find the body eventually, right?
Yeah.
And they, there's, 10, 20,000 people, usually young girls, they're trafficked back and forth, That stewardess that, a month or two ago, she
Yeah, yeah.
found a girl on a plane that she was traveling with some older guy. And
Yeah.
So people just gotta keep their eyes out, and and parents usually should be like more careful, like with what they say to young girls if they see them being disturbed. If they run away, that's it. They're gone, pretty much.
You would make an excellent counselor for somebody going through this.
Mhm.
It's as far as what you know of what happens and this
Right.
type of that.
Yeah.
You're going to Armenia, right? You're going to
Mhm.
Boy, do they have any programs in Armenia to help these girls?
In Armenia, I'm sure they do, but it's not as it doesn't happen as often, because those kind of countries, they're more traditional,
Yeah,
old-fashioned,
sure.
and they're Christian, the faith, and it's just very. If you have like a strong family bonds, don't forget I was born in Russia, and Sochi, so it's different. But we are Armenian. But if like Armenians, they're born in Armenia, they're strong bonded, so like you really don't have runaways. As
Right.
many, like very rarely.
Yeah.
So that would be, America probably would be a place to address these issues with.
Very,
You
very.
know?
I think it's in the Middle East too, right?
Yes.
Middle East.
Those are not runaways; they're actually kidnapped.
They take them.
Yeah,
That's it.
Here, it's a small percent of those girls they kidnapped physically.
Mhm.
Most of the time, they recruit. So if they run away, they're homeless, or they see them wander the streets, they will recruit them. They will offer the money,
Mhm.
and then when they already start working, the girls see what it is, but they can't run away, or they're afraid because the pimps will tell them, it's
kill you.
illegal. You're gonna go. No, they even scare them with police. They say if you go with police, prostitution is illegal. So you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna go to jail, and the girls are afraid of that, and they. It's sad. It's sad and underrated, and I think the three biggest locations out of 13 in U.S. are Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco.
Boy, you got
Three.
that nailed. You're smart. How did you find out all this? You studied.
Studied
You
a little
know.
bit, yeah, before I.
This now, forgive me, Nadia. That's Veronika's latest book, based on a true story.
There's a lot in there that
Yeah.
is, it's really, I dedicate it to people, to kids and people around the world that are that's stuck right now. That either, they're able to read it, but maybe maybe they're not kidnapped and not in sex slavery, but they're stuck in bad situations.
Yeah.
And
Definitely, I want to read just the paragraph on her back. Downstairs in the Upton Library, be sure to pick up a copy that'll be on the author's wall. We're going to talk in a minute how else you can get a copy. But so when 14-year-old Natalia is sold by her alcoholic parents to a human trafficking organization, remember this is based on truth, she has no choice but to accept it. 3 years later, she gives birth to a beautiful little girl she names Nadia, which means hope. Her happiness does not last long, and the very next day, the organization forces her to leave her newborn in the dumpster of a dark Moscow alley. That's only the beginning of her nightmares. Her real faith is about to be tested. And speaking of faith, you are a power of example. How can people get hold of your book?
you can get on Amazon. It's free on Kindle Unlimited.
It's what?
It's free on Kindle
Oh,
Unlimited.
on Kindle, okay.
Yep, and you can paperback, any bookstores you can order.
Yeah.
My website, veronikagasparyan.com.
Veronika, can you just spell that for everybody?
Yeah, it's VeronikaGasparyan.com. And, Facebook page, I'm on Facebook, the book's on Facebook. Any store, you can order it from any store.
It's easy to, I spelled Veronika with a C.
Now that's with a K.
It's Veronika with a K. Now, the next story,
Mm-hmm.
the title again was?
It was a fate. It was a test of fate.
It was a test of faith. This will take the girl, Natalia.
Natalia. Mhm.
It'll take her into her story from what happens afterwards. Without giving that away, does she finally end up in the United States?
The United States is not even in, it was more happening, in Moscow, and then Europe, and then Amsterdam.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of, second book has more of like action scenes that are going to be true love involved.
Yeah.
There's going to be some, even couple intimate scenes. There's going to be like, very, I want both of the stories to be a movie.
Yeah.
And the way I wrote it is so that it's easy to visualize it as a movie.
I
And
can
think
see
it would be a
Mother.
good movie.
Oh, I could see definitely starting with Mother at 7. Well, that's going to be, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
then
seems
this
like the
one-
way I write seems like it's like easy to visualize it.
Very. I have to be
Yeah.
able to visualize. That's what I love about your books. I have to be able to visualize when I'm reading. If there's too many people, and there's, I have to keep
Right.
going back.
Yes,
to
yes,
who is
I
this?
agree with you.
That's it. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too complicated, but
Right.
your writing is not too complicated. So now that new book will be out in, you think, a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, the covers are done, you know, I have, all the chapters are, I know exactly what's going in where, and, I just gotta kind of like, you know, elaborate on some things. You know, it would be nice if I could travel to Amsterdam, because, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's,
I
would
wish
be
you
nice
could get
to.
these books out in Moscow.
It would be, you know, I'm gonna talk to my cousin when I go to Armenia because he travels all over the world,
Yeah.
and we're gonna see if we can translate it, you know, into
Yeah.
Russian, at least Russian language, and it would be. I made it on the side of this first one.
Yeah.
There's a little heart, and a second one has a other
The
part of
other
the
part of the
heart,
heart.
and then so people can buy them together, and you know.
What a
they
clever
put it-
idea. On the side of her binding, it says L-O with half a heart. I wouldn't know what it meant, would you? The other book, the next one coming up, the sequel, will have the other part of the heart, V-E. Have I got that right? Okay, V-E.
So you can put it together, and on top of it, the title, both titles, they make one sentence.
Forgive-
So for Me Nadia, it was the test of fate. It's one sentence, and I'm thinking of making that sentence the final sentence of the, you know, both books.
Okay, so that'll be, the series will end with that, of the Nadias. Now, Mother at 7,
Mm-hmm.
that has the sequel coming up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
But will that be the end of that, or are you gonna keep continuing?
I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna write one more or if it's gonna be trilogy, because it's just so much for me to write. Last
Yeah.
20 years in America, it's too much to put in one book.
Well,
So.
well, you've got a son who's battling cancer. You've got a son in high school.
hmm I mean, even before that, you know, just so much happened since I moved here. I didn't speak any, you know, English. I had to learn it, watching soap operas on TV,
Yeah.
you know, and just like, just so much, you know, many things, up and downs, you know, marriage that, you know, don't want to give out information, but
Yeah, sure.
that was not traditional way, a very strange kind. And then, you know, and divorce and 10 years of family court, and it's just a lot, you know, it's a lot of information.
Done it without.
I don't either. I don't know
I
either.
don't get it. I mean, she looks fantastic. I mean, what you've gone through, I cannot. At 7 years old, I can't imagine being
I know.
left as to be a mother.
Yeah.
And then all the things, the human trafficking of this girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to. That's an awful lot to consider. But I think if you could get it over in Moscow, if this
Yeah.
is if this is what you're telling me, this is really big over there,
Yeah.
and these girls need to know
Right.
more about it, right?
Yes. Hmm. Even regular girls that would read it, let's say in high school,
Yes.
that considering running away,
Yeah.
you know, or considering that those opportunities, you know,
Sure.
even they would probably benefit knowing that it's bad road to go.
Veronika, again, how can they get a copy of your book? It's Veronika with a K. I have given Glenn the card. It's her email with a K, not Veronica.
It's
with a
K.
K.
Yes.
How can they get your book, Veronika?
Can go on my website, veronikagasparyan.com, Amazon, softcover, and Kindle Unlimited, or
Yeah.
just regular Kindle, and any bookstore, Facebook.
Is it it's up at Tatnuk, right? In Westboro?
It should be.
Barnes and Noble? So
It should be. If they don't have it yet, a copy, they can order it.
Oh, that's really good. And it's free on Kindle.
Kindle Unlimited,
Kindle.
yeah. Kindle Unlimited. And if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's $5.99.
Such a deal.
Yeah.
That is really amazing. Now, besides being avidly writing, we're going to close in just a couple of minutes. Are you working in another business? Are you?
I actually, I have a few things that I do. I like multiple sources of income. So writing is like, writing is writing.
Yeah.
And then, I like, I design kitchen cabinets, for example. I design it myself. I measure it. I design it in special 2020 software.
Yeah.
You can see what it looks like, and it's called Fabiwood. And then I, order cabinets. I do that. I have online eBay store for a few years now.
Yeah.
Do
you like on HGB Fixer Upper?
I like that. Yes.
Did you know this is their last season?
Really?
They were at the height of their popularity,
Huh.
and Joanne
I wonder why.
Joanne and I can't think of her husband's name. They're going off the air.
That's
I think something to do with family or something like
Yeah,
that. But I'm
wow.
thinking, why would you quit now? And
Yeah, so everybody loves it.
I love that show.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I just
nice
hate to get
tips.
attached to it
Oh, yeah.
because now it's going.
Yeah,
They-
right.
Have you noticed the tsunami of new ones coming in?
Yeah.
They're all copycats.
Yes.
What's your favorite show on?
I think the Flip My House, that's the one I,
Is that the gal with the long blonde hair? And
yeah,
then-
no, yes, blonde hair, yes, she has blonde hair.
And-
Because I watched another one with a girl with the dark hair.
Yeah, this
and the
one,
husband.
he's a strange first name, Targa. They separated, divorced, but they're still doing the show together.
Yes, right, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
This has been great. I'm so glad to have you back. And you are going to let me know when the sequel
Yes.
comes back, right?
Yes.
Downstairs, look for it. Forgive Me Nadia, or go and buy it. She's giving you the sites. This is based on a true story. And Mother at 7, when she was first with us, definitely, she went through HELL. And this girl, she's sitting opposite me, coming across the ocean over to here, living in America. Do you like it here?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's like my home now, you
You
know.
love it.
I've been here longer than there, so.
You like that. Best wishes for your son.
Thank you.
He's the same generation as my son, and I do hope he becomes a doctor because
Yeah.
he's been there.
Yes,
He can
knows
help
how
the
it
kids.
feels. Mhm.
All right, well, we'll see you again.
Yes.
See you next time, would be my guess.